The rain continues to fall here at karting Genk as we go to the penultimate first final of the weekend on finals day, Sunday, August 9th, 2020, for the first round of the 2020 Euro Trophy season. And your grid for final number 1 for DD2 is as follows. Sebastian Janchevski in first on pole position. Silas Ritter from Denmark alongside on the front row. Nicolas Picot will start from third alongside Austria's Manuel Tenchert, who I had a nice little conversation. He said, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Daniel Mahacek makes it another Austrian in the top 5 in 5th place ahead of Peter Bezel. Then we got Niklas Krenz, Zendereur not showing up on the timing screen as having made it out of the pre-grid, so would have taken up 8th place. Jakob Bezel in 9th, Mark Bartels in 10th, Matthias Lund, Friedrich Jerich, Sander Schuvlak with his fight back in customary fashion will start on 13th ahead of Mick Knowlton. DJ Liveris, who told me this morning via WhatsApp that he is very, very much determined to get on with the job in hand. Oliver Breitenbach and Glenn van Parijs will then be followed by Johan Andersson, Jan Negussens and Maxime de Heech from Belgium. Florian Breitenbach, Willy Leinen, Jordi Klebold, Luc Schepers and Wout Antonissen round out the grid. So they're now on their formation lap. Air temperature now 19 degrees Celsius. Time now just gone 12:33 local time. We'll make that 12:34. So it will be down to Sebastian Janchevski and Silas Ritter to control the pace. So top 10 are as follows. Sebastian Janchevski, Silas Ritter, Nicolas Picot, Manuel Tenchert, Daniel Mahacek, Peter Bezel, Niklas Krenz. Obviously we do have a spot missing where Zendereur would be ahead of Jakob Bezel and Mark Bartels, so effectively that makes Matthias Lund in 11th from RS competition, the de facto 10th position as someone dives into the pit lane. So one driver now going into the pits. Drivers now head onto the tram lines. 14 minutes on the clock. We'll start counting down the minute the red lights go out. The accelerators are pressed to the floor. Lights out and off and away. And we've had a spinner at the back of the field. And that is Wout Antonissen. There's Mick Knowlton. Now, where is Mick Knowlton? Now, we've had, I think that's Oliver Breitenbach that's just come out of there. As, oh, it's getting rough and ready at the front of the field. Silas Ritter was trying to go for the lead through turn 4. But I think that is possibly Nicolas Picot that has gone into the lead. And there's a bump from behind Tenchert trying to scythe his way through. And has a little bit of contact with the back bumper of, I think that was Silas Ritter. Tenchert on the inside. Niklas Krenz now trying to get through as Mark Bartels, I think, might be a little bit compromised. Oh, my goodness me. It's not that easy out there whatsoever. The spray being thrown up by the Mojo wet weather tyres. So the W5 CIKs now being put under a true test. But Picot looks to be in the lead. They'll now come through turn number 11. Picot from France leads. Tenchert second. Silas Ritter in third place. As everyone's swarming all over. As Glenn van Parijs trying to go up the inside into turn 12. Threading the eye of the needle. As he got through, he gets that was nearly 3 wide coming out of the final corner. And one of the drivers, I think, might have been possibly Luc Schepers. As now Manuel Tenchert loses out to Silas Ritter. Niklas Krenz from Germany, the Euro Trophy open at this champion from this very circuit last April, now up into 4th place. Peter and Jakob Bezel now complete the top 6 as Tenchert goes ultra defensive. Krenz takes a wider line, trying to get the run through the corner as it's nearly 3 abreast. And round the outside was that Glenn van Parijs I spotted. As now they make their way through into turn 7. the rain again has really provided opportunities for drivers up and down the field after a very, very interesting qualification session yesterday morning that saw effectively 14 drivers set a lap time. Around 10 or so didn't qualify as they didn't make it out in time, and then we had a disqualification due to a steward's decision. But Jan Nigussens and Zenderu are not showing on the timesheets now, so 23 drivers. McNulton is at the tail end of this field. But now, Silas Ritter trying to attack Nicolas Picot going into turn 2. As it looks like Jakob Bezel has gone up the inside of Brother Petter through into turn 2. And just behind them is KSB Racing Team's Frederic Jerich, who forces his way up the inside. I think that was through on Petter, through into turn 4. As now Ritter takes a wider line. Pico goes 2 wheels on the curb, as does Manuel Attention. But look at the run that Ritter's got out of turn 6. Oh, Pico could have been absolutely surprised as heck there. But the Frenchman did not let it get to him. But Ritter's still trying to force the issue through into turn 8. The Dane can't get past the Frenchman. Manuel Tenschert rounds out the top 3, closely followed by Germany's Niklas Kreins from 42 competition. And we've had a 5-second time penalty, and it has gone to Silas Ritter for a jump start, as decided by race control. Now again, that changes everything, because at the moment, if the race was to finish it as it was now, Silas Ritter would end up 12th behind Zonder Schriblach. Glenn Van Parijs is now 1 step away from breaking into the top 10. Well, effectively he has, and he has got past what will be de facto 9th position. So he's got past fellow Belgian Maxime Derich. DJ Liveris is now up into P14. Zonder Schriblach has gone all the way down to 22nd position. As now, there is the 4:06. I've just seen Nicolas Picot trying to go back up the inside to retake the lead, but it isn't really for position now, because Silas Ritter has got a 5-second jump start penalty post-race. And I'm just looking at the timesheets again. Yeah, I mean, he would be ahead of Glenn Van Parijs, so Van Parijs will still stay in 10th place. But then Manuel Tenschert is effectively 2nd. Niklas Kreins rounds out the top 3. Jakob Bezel in 4th. Friedrich Jerich from Austria in 5th. Peter Bezel, Matthias Lund, Mark Bartels, and then it would be Silas Ritter. As now, Tenschert seizes an opportunity, tries to go up the inside of Silas Ritter coming out of turn number 12. But then Niklas Kreins going round the outside of the Austrian, through into turn 2. He's going to try and get the run of momentum coming out of the corner. Goes towards the outside of turn 3, can't get through. But then, I've just seen, is that Frederic Jerich going past? If you're going past the defending champion, you've got to have some massive guts to do so. And the pair clash. The pair clash going into turn 6. Oh my goodness me. Frederic Jerich hanging all out on the line, dangling with life on a razor blade's edge. And I've just seen that Matthias Lund from Oris competition clearly also trying to get stuck in. So it is all changing every which way you look. But 8 minutes still to go. Is it really? Did I just see that? The time has had just only 5 minutes elapsed. That's 6 minutes elapsed. That's crazy. As now, Niklas Kreins gets a good run coming out of turn 12 on Manuel Tenschert from Austria. So they're going to go heading up into turn number 2. Tenschert takes the inside line, going into turns 1 and 2. Kreins leaves a little bit of daylight there for Jakob Bezel to try and get past. But then Kreins absolutely nails the throttle and goes up towards the inside through turn 4 on Manuel Tenschert. No gap there, unfortunately, for the German. As the leaders now squabbling their way through turn 6. Kreins again goes towards the outside line to get the power down. Closing on Tenschert. Tenschert saying, come on man, work with me. Kreins is thinking, I have other ideas. but then he's got a different, as the rain again is coming in. As they say, to finish first, first you must finish. And with the rain re-intensifying, again, I cannot really fathom how the dynamic of this race is going to unfold. But in the meantime, Friedrich Jerich has just been passed by Matthias Lund for 6th on the road. Zander Schublak has parked it, I think, on lap number 3. So the two-time reigning and defending B&L Karting Series champion and last year's DD2 runner-up in the championship now is a retirement, and it has been just confirmed this second. So effectively, the way things are going, I'm just again having a look at the gaps between the drivers from where Silas Litter is at the moment. He's 0.739 behind the leader, Nicolas Picot from France. But then you add 5 seconds that time, that puts him in 10th behind Glenn Van Parijs from Belgium. And then look at the train at the front of the field. The train is absolutely immense as Matthias Lund seizing an opportunity possibly as Silas Ritter goes up the inside of Nicolas Picot to have taken the lead. So now as they come through into turn number 12, Silas Ritter leads. Manuel Tencher now up into third, still in third place, has dropped Niklas Grens in the process. So we have just over 5 minutes remaining. Tencher now trying to hustle Picot. Temperature has increased to around about 25 degrees. Four minutes and 45 still to go. And Niklas Grens trying to get the upper hand and has been passed by Matthias Lund. So it's not easy out there in these conditions. Very much far from it. But now Silas Litter has a chance, a big chance, because he has a 5-second time penalty post-race. And if he opens up a gap, and he's starting to do so, the fastest lap of the race so far, 1 minute 13.848 on lap number 4. We are now on to lap number 9. Ritter now has got a 1.6 second lead. So in the next 5 minutes, I guess. Oh, Tencher gets a little nudge from Pico that sends him sideways through turn 3, but the Austrian hangs on. Oh my goodness. Again, as now Niklas Grens goes up the inside of Matthias Lund through turn 5. The positions are changing every single time we go through a corner, at the very, very least, as Grens goes defensive of Matthias Lund, going through into turn 7. The German keeps the position. And whilst everyone has been battling, Silas Ritter, breaking news, is not pulling away like initially had occurred. The gap was 1.6 seconds. As now, oh, Lund goes up the inside towards Grens, nearly goes into the right side pod, but as a result of that, Jakob Bezel, the defending champion, now trying to swarm all over the back bumper of the Dane going through into turn 12. Ritter still leading, but Tencher has closed that gap. As now, oh, a little bit of a tussle there. Oh my goodness, Matthias Lund went to go across the front of Niklas Grens, and the back left tyre hit the right front of the German's kart and nearly sent the 42 competition kart off the circuit. That was close. But cat-like reflexes from Niklas Grens saved his bacon. But there is one driver that's really, really making a big 3-course meal out of this race. And it's the driver that is currently in 7th position, having started down in 17th, an increase of 10 positions over the last 9 minutes from Bouvin Power. Belgium's Glenn van Parijs really thriving in the wet weather conditions. It looks like he's going to make up another place, is he? Well, he's going to try and close in as, oh my goodness me, Lund coming under fire significantly from Friedrich Jerich. Also Jakob Bezel, so it's not over yet. Glenn van Parijs moving up the order significantly. Vili Villainen, I think, has parked it, so the Finnish driver, as far as I'm aware, the sole Finnish competitor here this weekend, is out of the race, the 404 from RS Competition, who started down in 22nd. Unfortunately, looks to be a retirement, so looks to be two not starting Zenterur, Jan Negusens, Zander Schublak, and now pretty much Vili Villainen. 60 seconds on the clock remaining. Oh, Grains runs wide. Grains runs wide and Parijs gets through. The pair side by side heading down into turn 7, but the German keeps ahead by a whisker at the moment. Glenn van Parijs really fancies a chance of getting up the order, and if he can get past Niklas Grains, he's not going to have enough time to get towards the top 5, but depending on what happens this afternoon, this really will start his journey within the Euro Trophy with us over the next 3 months at 3 other circuits, Wackersdorf, Adria and Karting Campos. The rain still coming down, 20 on the clock. We go on to the penultimate lap. Silas Ritter still only has nigh on a 1.4 second advantage ahead of Manuel Tenchert. Nicolas Picot is now battling with Jakob Bezel. Niklas Grains runs wide out of turn 2, gets the power down to try and get past Glenn van Parijs, who's trying to keep it slow and steady, keep the steering inputs to a minimum, use the brake as much as possible, but not press it down excessively, because that will snap the back end quicker than you can shake a stick at. So now Van Parijs pulls away from Niklas Grains. Peter Bezel, Friedrich Jerich, Matthias Lund and Mark Bartels, who represents Germany, rounds out the top 10. But in some respects, Ritter could still have a fighting chance. The rain again, now that is really starting to get heavy now. The drivers, I think, will be rather thankful when they see the checkered flag. Silas Ritter comes through turn 11. So does Manuel Tenchert. Who's in third? It's Nicolas Picot. And Glenn van Parijs has been starting to close on Jakob Bezel, but was slightly slower on that last lap. Final lap board to Silas Ritter, but effectively leading the way is Austria's Manuel Tenchert from KSB Racing Team. Picot third, but Jakob Bezel Jakob Bezel closes up, as does Glenn van Parijs into turn number 2. So Van Parijs senses a possible third place. Anything's possible when you throw in wet weather conditions. And considering he's made up 12 places over the course of the race, as Ritter now comes through turn 7 for the final time. Grains embroiled in a battle with Peter Bezel, Matthias Lund and Friedrich Jerich for position. So the 2 leaders now both going through turn number 9 on the final lap. Silas Ritter has not been able to make any significant progress because the gap before we went on to the final lap of the race was about 1.4 seconds. Manuel Tenchert was flying. He went nearly 0.4 of a second quicker. The checkered flag provisionally will wave for Silas Ritter, but he will be demoted as a result of a jump start 5-second time penalty added to the race. So effectively Manuel Tenchert will win. Nicolas Picot will take second. I'm just looking at the times. Well, hang on a minute. Silas Ritter has done enough to take second in this race, so Picot will end up third. Jakob Bezel will be fourth. Glenn van Parijs from 17th to 5th. Niklas Grains will take 6th ahead of Matthias Lund. Peter Bezel, Friedrich Jerich and Mark Bartels rounding out the top 10. Wout Antonissen, DJ Liveris, Luke Schiepers, Jori Klebold and Daniel Mahacek round out the top 15. Sebastian Janczewski didn't really factor in. He took 3 wins yesterday. The rain seemed to have scuppered the Polish driver's advances towards a win, and maybe to get on pole position for the final. Number 2 later on. Maxim de Hisch, Oliver Breitenbach and Mick Knowlton and Johan Andersson are the last of the 21 drivers that survived, with Ville Villainen and Sandra Triplak retiring on laps 8 and 3 respectively, with Zenderua and Jan Nigussens not taking the start. Paddock announcement, paddock announcement. Could I ask the junior Rotax driver 289, William McIntyre. That's junior Rotax driver 289, William McIntyre. Please report to the stewards immediately. Thank you.